Balancing your professional life and your personal life can be very challenging, but it's essential to growth. Most at times, our desire to succeed professionally tends to push us away from having a personal life or a personal time for ourselves and our personal well-being. In that case, you end up being mentally drained, a lot of stress on you, a lot of unhappiness inside you, which is not really good for health and growth as well. Here are some simple steps to help you create a perfect work-life balance for yourself today. Let's jump right into it. Now, the first thing you want to do in creating a perfect work-life balance is that you have to accept that there's no perfect work-life balance. Now, I know many of you might disagree with me, but yes, it's true. There's no perfect work-life balance to say this is how to have a perfect work-life balance, but rather there are strategies or habits that you can practice over time that at a point in time in your career or in your life, you realize that some things will become more like a habitual attitude that you'll be practicing over time. Then in that light, you tend to have, quote unquote, you tend to have a perfect work-life balance for you, because that's what's working for you. It might not work for someone else, but for you it might work, because there are some days that you have a lot of energy to run through the day. There are some days that naturally your body won't just be in the mood to have that, attitude for work and having a personal life and all that. So just accept that there's no perfect work-life balance, but rather you can create attitudes and habits to help you create that balance for yourself. The second thing you want to take note of is that you have to find a job that you really love or you find joy in doing. Reason being that if you are not really passionate about what you are doing, automatically waking up every day to go to that particular job drains you emotionally and mentally. So before you even get to the workplace, before you even start your day, emotionally and mentally, you are out of balance. So in that light, once you're out of balance, there's no way you're going to enjoy your day or even enjoy the work you are doing to be able to create that mental stability for you to have that work-life balance. So once you're not enjoying that, you realize once you get to the workplace, you're in a hurry to come back home or leave that particular scene. So do your best to find a way to find a job that you really love doing. In that light, it gives you that energy, positive energy that really helps you guide and make your day a successful one. The next thing you want to take note of is that you have to prioritize your health. Now, with this particular point, it varies per person. Some people, exercising gives them happiness during the day or gives them happiness for the week, depending on how their work schedule is. Some people also having various activities really guides them to how their days are scheduled or how their work-life balance is scheduled. Overworking yourself doesn't necessarily mean you're a best employee. But working effectively rather guarantees that you are working to perfection or you're working to result. So do well to prioritize your health over your work. Now, to one of my favorite points on the list is find a way to unplug yourself from the world. What do I mean by this? Personally, there are days where after doing a particular week of a lot of activities, my best way to unplug from the world is probably put off my phone or put it on silent and not touch it and just have time for myself. I do a lot of activities, either resting or playing games or swimming or just going out to a particular place just to unwind and relax, just to unplug from everything else, emails and calls and all that, just to have time for yourself and have time for your inner man also, or your inner woman, if I should put it that way. It helps you reconnect with yourself, it helps you re-strategize, it gives you clarity as well. So find time, if it's once a month that you can do that, please do, because it's necessary for your health as well. You find time to just interact with you yourself and help you relax, get you clarity, because you really need that in terms of life, in terms of work, in terms of your personal life as well. You need that clarity to be able to see ahead of time and plan ahead of time as well. By the way, if you're enjoying this content, I'm Edwin Dela. On this channel, I share content on business, branding, productivity, and growth mindset. If you're new here, do hit the subscribe button. If you're an old friend, share this video with a friend, let them also see. Let's grow together. Cheers. Another favorite point I would like you to take note of is try and do vacations. I know this might be difficult for most of you, or one way or the other might be a restriction in some parts or some homes as well. But you don't necessarily have to move out of the country to go on a vacation. It could be a short trip just to change scenery, just getting yourself out of your locality or your local scenery that you're always found in, and going to a new scenery gives you a new perspective of how to go about things, a new perspective of yourself, a new perspective of how people are living, and gives you clarity as to how to do things as well. So going for that road trip is not a bad idea. It could be a Saturday road trip where in fact, I think of late there are a lot of short trips available that you can go on weekends. You can just visit a particular tourist site or a particular location just to see a scenery, just get that change of environment, see something new, open your eyes to the world, because this world is full of amazing places. And I would urge you that if you can, do well to go for vacations on short occasions. If you get the time to do so, do well to take them and make good use of it as well. The next thing I want to take note of is try your possible best to make time for friends and family. Now, if you are striving for perfection in your profession and you end up getting that perfection in your profession, but you don't have anyone around you to celebrate, what's the essence of getting that? Because if you strive for that perfection, you are trying to do that in order to attain a certain level or a certain status quo in society that you can come back and then probably put, let me just put it this way, to put value on your name, on your family name, or put value on yourself so that your friends can be proud of you and give you that thumbs up that you need in order to have that self-fulfillment. So in the light of getting self-fulfillment, do well to not forget family and friends, because no matter what you do, they are still going to hold you up. They are going to hold you down when you are down as well. So do well to make time for them. It might be difficult. It might be a very tiring activity to do, but I can promise you that once you do that a couple of times and it becomes a habit, I'm sure you'd enjoy doing it. The other downside to it as well, but in all your doings, try and then find time to meet friends and family to build that bond and relationships that you can do, because even in your professional life you need relationships to be able to grow. You need someone to make a recommendation about you. You need a human being. It's not a robot that's going to make that recommendation. It's not a machine. It's a human being that's going to make a recommendation or promote you to another level in your professional life. So you do need that personal connection with people. If it's not family per se, you can create it with friends as well, because someone might recommend you or mention your name in a room or in a meeting, and that can transform your life. But if you don't have a personal relationship or you have a relationship with anyone else, you'll be alone, and if you're alone, depression kicks in. So do well to make time for friends and family. The next thing you want to do also is that set boundaries in terms of work and your life. Most times we tend to find ourselves in this loop where even after office hours, we tend to be working from whichever location or locality we find ourselves in. Yes, sometimes there might be emergencies that you need to attend to, but it doesn't mean it should become a habit that even if you close from the office, with every minute you've got, you are checking your emails or responding to office calls whilst office is closed and all that. So you should find it as a habit, or try it as a habit, to intentionally ignore office activities once you're out of the office, so you can have time to do other activities as well. If not, you spend your whole 24 hours working and then sleeping, which is not a good balance for yourself. So do well to fine tune and find that fine line between working for office hours and then having time for yourself or for friends and other activities as well. The best way to do this is that, yes, there are hours that after work you might need to communicate back to people and all that. You can dedicate a couple of hours to doing that. If you are done, switch over to the other side where you have time for people as well, have time for yourself, and try and do something for yourself. In that light, once you are done doing that, the next day is there, you can resume whatever office discussion that you were doing or activity that you were doing, which is equally important as your health as well. Last but not the least on the list today is to find a way to set goals and achieve them. Now, setting goals and achieving them doesn't necessarily mean it has to be huge tasks to achieve. It could be simple things as cleaning the room, doing the dishes, washing your clothes, just small tasks like that you can achieve at the end of each day or at the end of each week. In that light, you find fulfillment in kind of doing things that really bothers you or that really puts a lot of mental stress on you in a way. For me, like this, washing is kind of I don't want to say a boring task, but it's kind of a stressful task for me in a way. So I do my best to wash when I feel like, but I do it on the offering as well. So I can wash maybe 2 or 3 times a week, or probably once a week. It depends on how my week is scheduled. Sometimes I have very tight schedules that it takes time for me to be able to do it. So do well to find a way to set your goals for the week and be able to achieve them. Break them into smaller bits and be able to achieve them. It really helps you gain clarity in yourself and around you in terms of your environment and activities that you do. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a comment below, like, and share this video with a friend. Let them also see. Let's grow together. Cheers.